Yeah, buddy.
What up?
Yeah, there he is.
The three-way long lining rig for the win.
Old school, long lining, baby, bouncing bottom to set your depth. This is how it was done for decades before electronics even existed, and believe it or not, you can still catch a fish without a bunch of screens in the boat like you're playing a video game. It's still a thing.
Haha, that's a limit in under 3 hours. That's how that's supposed to go.
Welcome to beautiful Perry Sound in central Ontario, Canada.
You coming fishing with your dad? What a good boy. No, he wants to stay here. He likes the beach.
I don't get out here to fish very often, but I love it when I do. There's some frickin' lunkers in these waters. And today's video is all about one of my favorite species to target and catch and eat, the great Canadian lake trout. And the ones you're gonna watch me catch today are going right in the smoker when I get home, so tune into next week's video because I'm gonna show you how to smoke them up 4 different ways. But I'm getting off topic. Today I'm gonna show you how to catch them first, and we're gonna put a limit in this boat, and we're gonna achieve that using a super old school technique that I learned from my great grandfather. This technique requires about $2 worth of terminal tackle and 0 glowing rectangles.
Weapons of mass destruction. Am I right? Just need the one for now. Just running a super simple little 3-way long lining rig. I'll show you this much closer up. I'll even show you how to tie it later on. But for now, the sun's up. I want to get fishing.
Hold on, pump the brakes. I'm actually going to show it to you right now. I'm actually dropping this in after the fact because as you're about to see, on the day that I was out fishing, it got super windy. I explained all this in the boat, but the audio was terrible. You could barely hear what I was talking about. So I'm going to show you now because I really want you to understand how simple and easy it is to use and tie these 3-way long lining rigs. This is the exact long lining rig that you're about to see me catch 2 beautiful lake trout on, and it could not be easier to tie. And it all starts out with a super simple 3-way swivel, just like that. This eye gets clipped onto your main line with a swivel, that one there runs down to your weight, and this guy runs a leader out to whatever bait you want to run. Now 9 times out of 10, I'm using these kind of rigs in the summertime when I'm fishing deep for lake trout, but it's not exclusive to that. They're just designed for deep water, right? 9 times out of 10 as well, I'm running a little spinner or a spoon behind it because that's what lake trout like to eat. Trust me, you're about to see that. But you could run any kind of presentation on this pretty much. You could run a stick bait behind it. You could run a crank. You could run a live bait, whatever you want, and it will be effective. But enough said. So how does it work? First things first, right? This thing is really strong and it attaches to your main line. I've never broken one of these. They're made really well. So like you can have confidence in that swivel. Next, you need a weight. The whole idea of this rig is to get you down deep. This is a 5-ounce weight, which is typically what I run, 4 or 5 ounces. I've even run 6-ounce weights behind it, and that'll get you down right quick. You could even run it with more weight if you wanted to, but I've found that sort of 4, 5, 6 ounce range is all you ever need to get down like 100 feet, and that's usually where I'm finding lake trout in the summertime, anywhere from like 80 to 120 feet. You could find lake trout a little higher up in the water column sometimes, but generally they're quite deep in the summer. And the way I like to tie this thing is with a little 2-foot lead on that weight. I'll explain to you why that lead is so short in a second. And now this side is a 5-foot fluorocarbon leader. I love fluorocarbon. It's invisible underwater. You can tie this with mono. Sometimes with clients, I tie a mono leader on there because, you know, there's a little stretch in it and it helps them keep the fish on the line. I prefer fluorocarbon, and generally the way I like to tie it is that leader being between 4 and 6 feet. You want that spoon or whatever bait you're running to be good and far away from this scary looking swivel and that weight, right? You don't want any attention being pulled away from the spoon or whatever you're pulling on that end. Now let's talk about why I tie that weight leader so short off the bottom. I have found over the years that if you tie it much longer than a couple of feet, and it can be a little longer, like I do 3 feet sometimes, you're gonna get a lot more snafus with your actual leader at the surface, okay? That's a lot of weight and it swings around. So that shorter line for the weight is much more about topside cleanliness and keeping things clean and easy to use. But you have to have something on the bottom. You need at least a couple of feet because we're going to be using that weight to sound out the bottom, to bounce off bottom. And the beauty of this rig is kind of self-explanatory when you look at that three-way swivel that you started out with, right? You've got your leader line, right? That's got the money on it. That's got the thing you spent the most money on, the lure, right? Getting real expensive these days. This guy is generally tied on with a much lighter pound test, and as that thing's bouncing along, sometimes it does get hung up in rocks, etc. And when you're using a lighter pound test, you can just snap that thing off from all the way up at the surface with 200 feet of line out if you need to. I've done it many times, and you've saved your lure. Anyway, let's get back to the fishing video here. I just wanted to show you this rig, show you how to tie it, and last note on this is that every single knot on here is a uni. Learn to tie the uni knot if you haven't already. It's the only knot really that you need to know to be a fisherman, if you ask me. I use it for like 90% of what I do in the boat. That's the three-way rig. Let's go drop it in and catch some lake trout.
And that's all there is to that. Boom. Just gotta pick a spoon. Just digging into this big old box of spoons right here, and I've got a million options, but I think we're probably just starting out classic with the old Williams Whitefish, made in Canada.
All right, we're betraying folk music, going electric. I got the old troller dialed in. We're looking for about 2.5 miles per hour with trout and salmon species, salmonids, if you will. And she goes. I'm gonna show you how to use this thing a little better later on, but like I said, the sun's up, let's start fishing. Zero that counter, start dropping line. And it's a lot of it. This is a very deep body of water, and where I'm fishing here is gonna be anywhere between 100 and 200 feet.
Yup, Lakers go deep in the summer and you got to get down there to find them.
I'm starting off on a hump that's really shallow for this area. It's about 80 feet here. I usually mark fish here. I've fished this spot before. Just want to see if there's any around. I'm running shallow right now, and then we're gonna drop off. Boom. Big, deep drop off, and there's usually fish staging off the edge of it. But you never know. The whole key, and the reason that you have that giant sinker on the bottom of these three-way rigs, is to be able to sound out the bottom manually. I'm bouncing bottom and then pulling up line to sort of set my depth. Here at about, I've got almost 100 feet already, and I'm gonna run that 100-foot depth, okay, in the water column, but I'm using the bottom to set that depth. When I feel bottom bounce, I just lost it again. When I feel that bottom bounce, I'm gonna know that I have 100 feet, and it's the beauty of long lining, man. It couldn't be simpler. Boom, I just bounced. I've actually got 200 feet of line out to achieve about 100 feet of depth with about, I think that's a 4-ounce weight on there. Checking on the old hot cam. Hopefully, with any luck, get some fights on there for you guys. Well, she's running nice and smooth. No hits yet, no takers, but we're just getting started. She's swimming nice. I'm seeing that rock tick, 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 just the way I want it to. Running about 180 feet of line over 145 feet of water now. Not seeing fish stacked up in this exact area. We're closer to that spot where I started. We'll probably turn around at some point, but I've got a big long line now that I'm gonna cruise for, I don't know, a kilometer or two. Just switched over to the main motor. Got a little crosswind here. It's kind of messing with the electric, so that power is gonna really help me maintain that 2.5 I wanna be having for this species, and not marking anything quite yet, but just getting started, like I said, and it's beautiful out here.
So in case you haven't seen any of my fishing videos on Instagram, I don't get out to Perry Sound very often, just once or twice a year, but I love fishing this body of water. It's a huge body of water. There's very big lake trout and even salmon in here. There's 3 different species of salmon that can occur in this body of water. I've only ever caught one of them. I got real lucky. I think it was a couple times ago I was in here and caught a beautiful king, but I'm targeting lake trout. If I run into a salmon while I'm out here, I'd be a real happy guy, and maybe later on we might target pike, bass, even a walleye in here. I've caught monster walleye in this town before. They're hyper rare, but I do know kind of where to find them. Maybe we'll get out later and have a look. But right now, I'm just thinking about lake trout. I want to get one for the smoker, a nice big slab. Let's go.
All right, it's time to peel her in. Coming up on a 40-foot shelf, and I will hit that thing all day. We're gonna reel up, keep it nice and even. We might have a follower. I get hits like this all the time when I'm reeling it in. Maybe a swimmer who was chasing it, just kind of following behind, ripping it pretty quick, because I don't want to get hung up on this now 35-foot shelf. And then we're going to turn around and head into the wind. And that wind is really picking up. Come on, little buddy, grab it. You know you want it. All right, I got the boat turned around the other way. We're going to run that exact same line the other way. Just get the boat oriented. That wind is really pushing me around. Look at that whitefish, man.
Okay, 0 counter, and she's got it. We're peeling line. She's dropping like a stone. Man, it's getting windy out here early. I got out about an hour later than I wanted to. I was struggling with a goddamn YouTube video. It wasn't uploading. There was problems. I was up super late. I only slept a few hours. But yeah, I'm surprised at the level of wind for this hour. It's about maybe 7:30 in the morning, approaching 8. And yeah, we got whitecaps on the water, man. It's gonna suck when we're headed this direction into the wind, and then I can switch back to the electric with this wind right on my ass on the way back, and it'll be nice and quiet. So I'll check back in with you then if I don't catch a fish. Look at that sea snot just fouling me up. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna change up here. I'm gonna go with the wind now and switch back to the electric. See if it can handle this wind. Now, I should explain to you, when you're longlining like this, there's 3 main factors that you want to keep in mind in order to sort of regulate your depth. Now, I've been doing this for years and years. I bounce bottom as a matter of habit because that's the way I was taught by my great-granddad, how to set the depth of your bait. But there's other ways to do it. So those 3 factors to keep in mind are: how much weight do you have on? I've got a 4-ounce weight on the end of that 3-way rig. How fast is the boat going, and how much line do you have out? With those 3 factors, I can have a really, really good idea of how deep that spoon is swimming. And let me just check my speed again. Yeah, 2.5 are right on. And actually, I'm marking a couple of nice looking hooks down there. Let's see if we can dial it in. More on the technique in a bit. Let's just get a fish in this boat. Ooh, I just had a bump, but he missed. He may have sideswiped it with his tail, but I just had a bump. I think he missed. Come on, buddy. Turn around. Grab that. You know you want it. Come on. Come on now. I don't know if I'm swimming funny now. Did he mess up my mojo? Oh, I got excited there for a second, man. That was a bump for sure. It's swimming kind of funny since I had that little bump. It's always better to just pull it up and check. And I might have a follower. You never know. I'm going to keep it nice and steady. Rip her in. But it does feel like it's swimming a little funny. And I'd rather pull it up, check, maybe even turn around and run that same line again a little better than, you know, run a bait that's not swimming the way it should. Then you're just wasting time. I got kilometers ahead of me. And I want to make sure this thing is swimming good. All right, we're on the turn here. Still no takers, and the wind is just getting worse and worse. The boat is bouncing around like a freaking top, man. I got a couple of marks on the turn here. Let's see if we got a taker. I'm gonna run this into the wind. We got whitecaps now, and I hope you can hear me. And just see if we can hit one on the way back. And if not, I'm gonna run this one more time. I think maybe switch up baits at the other end of the line. A couple clicks down the road. But man, it's getting rough out here.
Yeah, the wind just kept getting worse and worse and kicking up whitecaps and making it nearly impossible to actually fish.
All right, about the other end of that line again. Let's drop down on this end, but it's pretty crazy out the middle. Let up. We got a follower. Turn her around, maybe change baits. I think I got one more line in me. Those waves are wrecking my back, man. Hazard to being like a crusty old guy. All right, exact same rig, just changing it up with a splash of color. Quite a lot more color, actually. Let's see if that wakes him up with this rainbow trout colored bait from Matrix. And the wind is howling, man. So let's see what happens. Hopefully this is the move, because I haven't even had breakfast. It's getting late. I think it's, yeah, it's already 9:30. So I've been out here a couple hours. No luck yet, but I'm dropping her down. And let's see if that splash of color does the trick. There she goes.
And right about now, you might be asking yourself, why is a professional fishing guide showing me this crazy windy debacle?
Nothing on the sonar.
Well, if you watched the very first video on this channel, what did I promise you? Super mega realness. This is the outdoors.
And that might be it for this morning. Sometimes it's just not meant to be. The weather has not cooperated, really. I mean, I'm dealing with the wind, but it's hard to control a small boat in this kind of wind. It's a 14-foot tinny, man. Not made for whitecaps.
It doesn't always go the way you want it to, and I want to be real with you. Sometimes you just gotta know when to fold them.
I don't think I'm even gonna rock a line back. Getting too rough.
You know, there's a lot of other channels out there, especially ones run by professional fishing guides like me, that would cut this entire day. Not my style, man. I keep it super real on here.
I can't even run it at full speed. Whoa! I just lost the sonar.
Despite not catching a fish in these conditions, I filmed a ton of good information for you guys. And I hope you learned something from it. I'm not gonna cut all that to make myself look like some kind of hero.
Well,
No Laker love this morning. Maybe try again this afternoon if that wind lies down, or might have to wait till tomorrow morning. Hey man, that's fishing.
All right, well, that's more like it. Got up about an hour earlier. And look, there's still even mist on the water.
Way calmer. That's how it's supposed to be, exactly like that.
Hey, we don't always get the conditions we want, but is it ever nice when they show up?
Chilly this morning.
And hey, I'll take a cool morning with a little chill on it over a crazy, unnavigable, windy day anytime.
Let's rock.
But even when you have perfect conditions, you got up early and everything seems to be going your way, there's always something that can go wrong. But here's the thing, that's all part of it. You gotta take it in stride and keep going.
And no way, you will not believe this. This has never happened before. I didn't charge this yesterday, but I usually get at least a couple days off that battery. I'm fishing blind here. I can't get her to fire up. Oh man. Kinda sucks. Well, I guess we're going old school.
And in the age of glowing rectangles, it can be intimidating to just not have one all of a sudden, but that's when you gotta fall back on actual skills.
Dude, that sucks so hard. Like, I know this spot, so I think I'm in a spot that's right around that 80-foot mark that I want to pull my bait. I'm gonna have to sound it out with the line counter. I could just stop the boat, and that's probably what I'm gonna do, is like stop the boat entirely and figure this out. Because you can, believe it or not, without a sonar, fish. Like, I can sound out the depth with this line counter on here and get it dialed in. But I think I have this little shelf that's about 80 feet, which is the depth I want to pull this bait, pretty much marked out in my head, not just in the electronics. So I'm gonna see if that bears out and just start pulling, man. There you go. There's 120 feet, almost at a stop. Yeah, that's about right, honestly. And I can't tell exactly how quick I'm going, which is the one thing that I wish I did have, is a little bit of the speedometer that you get off the GPS off these units. There's no other speedometer on the boat, so I'm just I'm gonna err on the side of quick. Believe it or not, trout and salmon, if they want a bait, they will hit it a little faster than 2.5, no matter what all the fishing forums tell you, okay? Or 2.4, 2.6. It actually doesn't matter. The fish don't know 0.1. So I'm going to guesstimate. I have a pretty good idea what 2.5 is. I've been fishing trout at that speed for all of my life. So let's just see if we can get one in the boat here fishing blind. It feels weird, but believe it or not, this is how people fished forever before electronics, and we're just gonna have to go old school here and make it happen. I'm not scared. Hot cam. Let's go. She's swimming nice. Oh, fish up. There he is. Yeah. There it is. Okay, let's get that camera going. Okay, that feels like a good one. Okay, we got them all. That feels like a good one. Oh, that's a good fish, all right. Yeah. So here's the thing about Perry Sound. Oh, that's a big fish. That's a good one, man. That's a good one. You're allowed one under 24, so sometimes in here it can be hard to catch one under 24. And that's what we're hoping for here. And I immediately feeling like that might be a challenge to get a fish under 24 in this boat today. But we're gonna find out right now. Man, that didn't take but 15 minutes and he's on. Just gonna turn the boat a little so I can face him. And let's see what this fish is doing. Still got about 130 feet of line out, and he's on good. I think he is anyway. Let's just find out. Now, it's worth noting you should never horse up any fish, but even you shouldn't horse up a lake trout. Now, lake trout are the only species that are able to burp up air outside of their swim bladder, okay? But you gotta give them time to do that, otherwise you can damage the fish. Like if I have to release this fish, if it's over 24 inches, I wanna make sure he's healthy, right? So, I'm just taking my time. I'm bringing him up real slow. I'm not horsing him. I'm letting him fight. I'm letting him run when he wants to run. And now he's approaching the boat. And I've seen bubbles coming up on the water as he comes. So that's a good sign. That means he was able to burp. And that's exactly what I want to see. That means if I have to release this fish, he's going to be healthy. Oh, he just saw the boat. You know what? This might be a keeper. He saw the boat and he didn't start peeling. Interesting. Hey, this might be one for the smoker. That would be cool. Okay, I'm gonna get my net. I don't have any color yet, but he's not far out. He's about 20 feet down, not even. Oh, okay, now he's peeling it. Now he's peeling it. Oh, he's peeling straight down. And there's some bubbles. I got bubbles. Okay. Okay, buddy, let's see who you are. Come on up, come on up. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I think I got one for the smoker here. Yeah, buddy. All right. It's gonna work out. Yeah, buddy. I don't think he's over 24. All right. Yeah. Ha. There you go, bud. Hey, he gave a good fight for that size. Oh, and he kicked it. Look at that. He spit it right at the last second. Give me 1 second here. Let's get that hook out. And I think we've got ourselves a nice lake trout for the smoker. That guy's gonna be under, man. He's gonna be under. Okay, bait's out. And that, my friends, is a nice freaking lake trout. Is this what we're talking about? Yeah, beautiful. I'm putting him on the tape. Let's have a quick look. Oh, he's just making it. Look at that tape. He's like just under 24 inches. Yes. Perfect. He's like 23.9. And that's what I'm talking about, buddy. Whoa.
I love it when a plan comes together, and I gotta be honest with you, it feels so much more satisfying when you do it without the damn sonar. And like, don't get me wrong, I love technology, but Granddad would be proud.
And just FYI, that's the bait we caught her on. That's that rainbow trout colored 5-incher from Natrix with the red hook. Beautiful.
Yes, and does that ever feel good after yesterday, after struggling in the wind for a few hours there? It was like just about 3 hours, I think I fished yesterday, smashing up and down all morning right from the get-go. Look at it, it's beautiful, it's calm, the sun's coming up, warm, it was like 10 degrees when I got out. And it took a minute to get to this spot, so like the sun's up over the trees, I'm just starting to get a little warmer. Bang, nice perfect eater on the line. Can't complain, man. That's how it's done. That's how you want it to go. And no electronics whatsoever. Let that be a lesson to all the guys out there who think they have to have the live scope and the forward-facing sonar and 20 screens all over the boat. Old school, long lining, baby, bouncing bottom to set your depth. This is how it was done for decades before electronics even existed. And believe it or not, you can still catch a fish without a bunch of screens in the boat like you're playing a video game. It's still a thing. And hey, you want to hear something really cool? I was just looking up the regulations to be 100% sure that I was complying. These are not my home waters. I don't get out here very often. I'm actually pretty far from home. For those of you who are new here, I'm a professional fishing guide. In Zone 15, where I guide, I know the regulations like the back of my hand. I don't have to look them up. They're like imprinted on my brain. So I don't know if I remembered it wrong or whether maybe they changed the regulations, which does happen fairly frequently here in Ontario, which is a great thing. It means that biologists from the MNR are really taking consideration of the populations of fish and the angler's experience. But anyway, without going off on a whole tangent on that, I think I'm allowed to actually keep another fish. And I don't even know if that 24-inch size restriction is still in effect. I couldn't find it in the regulations, which means I can catch another fish and maybe I can even catch a bigger one if I'm lucky. So I don't want to jinx it. Let's get a line back in the water and start fishing again. But I just went over the regulations really thoroughly, which I should have done last night, but I was really making sure that, hey, that fish is under 24 inches. I wanted to be sure, right? You got to be very careful about spawning populations, especially with cold water species like a lake trout. But again, without going off on a tangent, the good news is that I can keep fishing today. I'm allowed 2 fish, and it seems like there aren't any size restrictions on lake trout. So let's give her.
And one last look at that beauty before I get on the troll again. Tell me you don't want some of that in the smoker. Yeah, you do. All right, we're getting back on the troll, shall we? Sure would be nice to have 2 for the smoker.
You're not lying, buddy. And this cormorant agrees.
And you know what? We're going to switch over to that nice quiet electric while we're going the other way. Still nice and calm out here. Man, what a difference a day makes. It was rough out here yesterday, man. Oh, I got a lot more line to let out. Here's the tricky part. This end of it, there's a shelf that comes up to like 40 feet, so I have to be really careful. I have no sonar. I'm going to bounce it. I'm going to feel where that is, but there's just a little tiny portion, if I remember, that's around that 80 feet mark that I want. I'm going to try and find it, just old school manually by sounding out, letting that weight bounce off the bottom, and try to set my line at the depth I want. And I have the depth counter too. That helps a lot. I've got about 180 feet of line out, and that's right about where that other one was. That was right about where 80 feet was with the amount of weight that I have on and the speed that I'm doing. And then, like I said, I'm erring on the side of going a little quicker. I want to make sure it's moving. Trust me, a lake trout will catch any bait he wants. They are fast, man. And they're the top dogs around here. They're the biggest predators in here other than the odd salmon that's in this bay. So if something's going a little quicker than that ideal 2.5 that they want, trust me, if they want it, they're going to catch it. I think we're set. And now I'm just headed back down that same line. All right, well, no takers on that line. I think I'm going to switch her up. You know, my granddad used to say, bigger bait, bigger fish. I think we'll go up to the large size Williams wobbler there. Might hit the old, ooh, do I have a follower here? Oh, I thought I had a fish followed. I didn't. But I think, yeah, we're going to size her up. Let me get the snot off here and just kind of see if that holds true. Now, honestly, it's not always true whatsoever. Bigger bait, bigger fish. But I like the theory, and I am allowed a bigger one. So give me a second. I'm going to get set up here and turn around. Check out that beauty. That is the classic Williams Wobbler whitefish, okay? That's a 6-inch bait. No takers on the last one. I'm going to turn around, hit that line again, see if they'll hit the old whitefish. All right, Whitey, let's see what you got. 0. Rock and roll. She's dropping. And here's a good tip for you. You know, that first bounce doesn't really set it. I'm going to let that open again and let her bounce the second time. See, look at that. I got another 20 feet of line out. And now I'm set at about 80 feet. And man, can you ever feel the difference on that 1-inch difference and something with the design of the bait? Man, it really wobbles. You really feel it. It's a good feeling. I like that. I'm going to zoom in on the end of the rod to show you, but it's like, it's a nice feeling, man. That thing is swimming. Feels right.
There he is. Boom. All right, buddy. Let's fucking go. Boom. All right. Another good fish. Another good fish.
All right, there's another one. I think that's a good fish. He's peeling behind, buddy. Yeah. Leaving the motor in gear for a second. And this is the thing about long lining, too. You're always trolling, right? Oh, and he's running, buddy. And this is the thing about long lining. You don't really need to set the hook. I always like to check. I'll give it a good one of those. Make sure he's hooked good. Oh, and he's slick. He's still peeling. But the boat does the work for you. Okay, let's see what we got here. I got to get out to slightly deeper water. We're coming up on a little shelf here, if memory serves. Again, I'm fishing blind, no sonar. Let's get him out away from that shelf. I'm just turning the boat here. And then we're going to have a fight. We already got a fight going. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good fish. And it's really nice to know here on Perry Sound that I don't have to be worried about that 24-inch limit. Let's see if the old Williams whitefish produced a bigger fish like Granddad said. There he goes. Look at him. Look at him. Just peeling, buddy. Okay, we're out off that shelf. I'm going to throw her neutral and take this guy up slow. Same thing. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I will not be releasing this fish if it's a lake trout either way. And trust me, it's a lake trout. Look at him. I think that's a better fish, man. He's pulling more line than the other guy. Actually, I think he turns the boat a little. But, because I want a couple for the smoker. Hey, 2 for the smoker's better than 1. Okay. Let's just turn the boat a little. Let's face him. Okay, now he's turned. I can get a little on him. Yeah, I can get a little on him. Where's my net? Yeah. He doesn't like it. Okay, I'm gonna kill that motor. I think we're all set here.
That's nice. He's got some weight. It's not a huge fish. It's not like a big laker. Trust me, I've tangled with some big ones. Hopefully it's just like a nice one for the smoker, man, and that'll be a limit, kids. He's coming up. I'm giving him time, right? I want him to burp. Actually, it doesn't really matter. I'm not releasing this fish. Turn the boat. I don't have much battery left. I didn't charge the battery for the electric last night, but I got just enough to turn the boat. Hey, that's good. There we go. And let's see what's going on here, buddy. Who are you? Who? It's a lake trout, trust me, I know. What do I got? No, I still got, he's 60 feet down and nosing straight down. All right. But he'll come up fairly quick. There's 50. There's a good chance when he sees the boat, he's going to take another run, and that's okay. I've got my drag set right where I want it. If he wants line, he can have it. And he took all kinds on the hop. I just can't let him get under the boat here. But he should run away from it when he sees the boat. Come on, buddy. You're invited to dinner. We're gonna go for a little sauna in this smoker, bud. Okay, there's 10 feet. Oh, there he is, see? Woo! You just saw the boat. Yeah, no, we're okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's what we want to see. And he's still pulling straight down. He's still taking line. 30 feet. He just did a 30-foot run there. There's Bubbles. We got Bubbles. He just burped. 100% of lake trout now, we know, when we see those bubbles. Hey, buddy, you gonna take another run on me? There's 7. I don't see any color yet. Better get my net ready either way. Yeah, no, he's running again. You just saw the boat. Okay. I don't think he's out of gas, but he's not taking a huge run. Oh, and that sea snot's fouling me up here. There it is. Oh, I don't think he's hooked that good, man. Hold on. Come on, buddy. No, he's running away again. Hold on. Actually, I don't think he's hooked that good, man. And that's a long leader. Come on. Yeah, there he is. And that's another good fish, man. Maybe about the same size. Hey, look at that. Beautiful. Yeah, dude. Woo. And he spit it right there. Yes, he wasn't hooked that good. He spit it in the net. Woo. Whew. Ah, the whitefish, man, for the win. Beautiful. Have a look at that. Oh, that's a limit. Okay. Yo, he's a little chunkier than that first one. Yeah, that's a nice fish, man. I think he might be an inch bigger. Let's find out. Tell you what, I'm gonna give him, just get him up and out. Let's have a look. Come here, homie. Oh, he's frisky. Hey, there he is. Yeah, bud. Boom! Whoa, he's bigger. Get that net out of the way. Okay, I'm gonna give him a little headache here. Now, I know on the internet there's some controversy with these things. This is a fish bonker. In my opinion, this is the fastest and most ethical way of dispatching a fish. And I'm going to show it to you. Now, this is going to seem brutal to you if you've never seen it done before, but trust me, this is going to break his skull right between the eyes. I'm going to hit him and he's going to die instantly. And it's so much better than a fish suffocating in the bottom of your boat. You really should know that. So, everybody should have one of these in their boat. Trust me, I'm a guide. I get people wanting to take fish home all the time. I don't want them flopping around in the bottom of the boat. I don't want them suffocating. That's a terrible way to go. It's this. Look at that. Let me see. Can I get that in frame for you? Right between the eyes. Boom. Done. Now, you see how his tail is vibrating there? That's the death wobble, man. He's already done. That's how fast that was. I'm going to give him 1 for good measure. Maybe 2. And that fish is done. He didn't suffer whatsoever. And I got another nice one for the smoker. And that's what I'm talking about, buddy. I can barely get him in the frame.
And you know what's even better than catching one bruiser lake trout with no electronics? Catching 2 of them.
Haha, guys, that's a beautiful thing, and that's how you do it on the long line. That's a long line limit, 0 electronics. You don't need them, man. You just need to know how to fish. This guy measured out at just about 26 inches, perfectly legal, perfectly full smoker, and that's a pretty happy kid right here. So cheers, thanks for hanging out this week. I'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Tons more fishing videos on the way. Stay tuned, along with hunting, fishing, foraging, home cooking, organic gardening, and all the good stuff. Cheers.
And guys, make sure to subscribe and tune in next week because I'm gonna smoke these two bad boys and I'm gonna show you how to do it and I'm gonna show you how delicious they are.
My sweater's covered in blood and slime. I stink to high heaven and I couldn't be happier about it. That's the sweet smell of success.
Friends, thanks for hanging out all the way to the end of the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click the bell icon for notifications and go snoop around and find another video to watch on here.
That's a limit in under 3 hours. That's how that's supposed to go.